Like if you have 100 images on your website, please stop fulfilling all your dreams and needs. I'm so glad we're doing this, guys. Honestly, guys, nobody cares. I don't care if your website opens and you have one image and it's like, wow. And actually, now that I think about it, I need to take some images down from my own website too. We're here to call ourselves out. Hello, everybody. Welcome back to our Rich Artist Fridays. Woo, woo, woo. Best day of the week. My name is Sophie, for anybody that's new here, and I'm the founder of the Rich Artist Program. And within the program, we do workshops, group coachings, one-on-one coachings, and our Rich Artist Friday quickies, which are 30 minutes for free, where I just give you a lot of input, motivation, inspiration, new energy for the week to come. And the Rich Artist Program is about empowering you guys to build a good balance between being artists, being creative, being able to be free and spontaneous and preserve that energy, which is so important for you to create your art and spread your mission, and building a business that is a backbone to all of that, that gives you stability, that gives you the knowledge that you are, capable of controlling how many opportunities you draw into your career, how much financial abundance you attract into your work, what kind of clients you dream of working with. All of those things I teach you guys how to do, and I encourage you guys to, be able to wear both hats. Let yourself have the things that you dream of, and also, counteract that stigma of the starving artist lifestyle, because as much as we, I think, almost glamorize that term, I think it can really stress you out, lead to burnout, and in the end cost all of us your very, very, very precious art. So let's not do that. And before we get started with today's 30 quick minutes, I wanted to let you guys know that we have the next workshop coming up, which I'm so excited about. It's in 2 weeks. Is it 2 weeks time already? It's going to be a 2-day workshop over the weekend. And it's a money master workshop, because one of the topics that I get asked about the most is things like rate negotiations and setting your prices. I'll give you guys a quick overview of the things that we are covering in the workshop. So it's 2 hours on a Saturday, 2 hours on a Sunday. We are going to be talking about internal business structures, price packages and private clients, where to find your client pool, money mindset blockages that are specific to photographers, writing estimates and negotiating your prices, passive income. Are you tapping into what some of your portfolio might potentially be worth? And can I make money as a photographer? Can I adapt a rich artist identity and mentality? That was a little bit out of order, but those are the topics that we'll be covering, spread over 2 days. The sign up is $175, which is so little for all of the input that you guys will be getting. And the sign up is already up on my Eventbrite. If you can't find it, then just go on my Instagram. It's in my link in bio. And I would love to see you guys there. And let's get cracking with today's topic, which is photography website do's and don'ts. We don't actually have time to cover like all of the ins and outs when it comes to websites. I could absolutely do a whole masterclass on that alone. But for today, I just wanted to cover the basics, like some of common mistakes that I see a lot of people make, that I have made in the past. Guys, I asked my dad to register my website domain, sophiekeatsman.com, when I was 12 years old. And I had one of those Wix websites for a long time. And like, oh my God, like horrible websites. But I, even back then I was like, I don't just want to do my photography for myself. Like, this is for the public. Like, I need people to see this stuff. Love the confidence back then. But if you are looking to really get into the nitty-gritty details of how your online presence is attracting or potentially hindering you from attracting the clients that you want, then maybe think about joining one of the workshops. We have another 8-week class coming up in November as well, which is an 8-week intensive where we get really deeply into these kind of topics. Or hit me up for free coaching consultations. I do one-on-one coachings, and then we can like actually really customize what you're doing and take a really good look at it. But for today, I just have a quick list for you guys, and you can, follow along and maybe get inspired for some things that you might want to change about your website. Guys, every single week I'm fiddling around with my website. It is a never-ending project, and it is always improving. So And maybe take a look at if you are making some of these mistakes as well. Obviously, there is no golden rule, right or wrong way to design your website. Absolutely not. Like, I'm not here to tell you this is how you have to do it, but I want to explain to you guys why some of these mistakes might actually be deterring some of the clients that you might dream of working with, or what you can do in order to show clients like, hey, I am that artist for you. Like, I'm capable of fulfilling all your dreams and needs. Sorry, I'm in a silly for mood today. So the websites that I'm specifically talking about are professional commercial photography websites. Now, obviously, you can have private work on your website as well, but this is for working professionals that are looking to attract brands and private clients. So just for up, like, these are some tips that will help you if a brand is checking out your website to make you look as professional as you are, as trustworthy as you are, and as nuanced as you are as an artist. So I'm going to start with the don'ts, because sometimes it's easier to know like what not to do, and then I'll tell you what to do instead. First thing, repeating your images. I see this all the time. I know that like on my website, I have like a banner image, which is one of my favorite campaign images that I shot. And that is like the entry page. And then I have the actual campaign poster of it, like with the graphics on it and everything within my grid. But besides that, do not repeat your images. I see this all the time. I go on photographers' websites and they have like maybe a slideshow or like a couple of show images, and then you go on to commercial and they have that image there, and then you go on to project and the image is there again. Guys, in general, assume that somebody is going to give you roughly 20, maybe 30 seconds on your website of just like taking a quick glance, scrolling through, getting an idea of your quality and of what you're about. And then they'll probably click on your about section and take a quick glance at your bio, and that's it. That's all the time you get to make an impression. And it really isn't necessary to have an image in multiple places, even if it fulfills multiple categories. Like if you have an image that is your homepage image, there is no need to have it again in other areas. And now that I'm saying this, maybe I should take a page out of my own book and remove that one image that I have double on my page. I'm so glad we're doing this, guys. Trust people's quick attention span. Like, we are living in TikTok era. So people's brains work very, very fast. If they take one glance at a picture, that's all they need to see of it. Like, they don't want to see it again because they already saw it. So you're wasting a lot of precious seconds to show them something else that might impress them or catch their eye. Another don't try to stretch your portfolio. I was recently on a website. We did in one of the 8-week courses over the summer, I took a look at some of the websites from the people in the course and was giving live feedback on it, which if that's something that you would love to do, then hit me up. Like, I would love to actually review your website for you. But the photographer didn't have a very large portfolio of the kind of work that she wanted to attract clients for. So she had a grid layout and she had one specific photo shoot that was a fashion shoot. And she had like 4 images of the girl in the same outfit, like not just like 4 images from the same shoot, but from the same outfit. And it was placed at random positions in the grid. And she had done this with multiple projects. And I asked her and she was like, yeah, I was trying to stretch my portfolio and make it look like there's more to look at. Guys, sorry to say this, and I don't mean this in a bad way, but people aren't dumb. Like, people can tell that that's what you're doing. And if they're, if you want to show that you have a large, diverse portfolio, do not show the same project in like stretched out. If you want to show multiple images of the same project, at least put them next to each other as like a diptych or something that like makes sense as a beautiful layout, and like let it be what it is, which is just one project. And we'll get to this in the do's as well, but like be intentional with your selection, and also kill your darlings. I know we all have that one image that we're like, I need it, but it really is actually not helping your what's the term, like it's not helping your goals. So let it be what it is, and don't think that you can trick people into like appearing like something that you're not. The photographer that you are and the artist that you are is well good enough. Like, yes, there is something said about implementing some of these do's that I'm about to get into in order to like highlight yourself in the best way, make yourself look as professional as possible. But you don't need to like trick clients into thinking that you have 20 years of experience when you don't, or that you have done hundreds of commercial campaigns when you haven't. Like, that's fine. All a client needs to see from you is like your strongest images. And I don't care if that's only a handful of images. I honestly, guys, I don't care if it's just one image. Like, if you have one strong image, let that stand for itself, because you will always get judged by the weakest photo on your website. Like, trust me, I do this too. When I go on photographers' websites, my eye will find the one image that is not up to standard with the other quality of the website, and I will judge them based on that image. We all judge. It's in our nature to judge. So be careful with how much you show. Another don't, boring or standard bios. Now, I don't want to call anybody out, but most websites that I go on to have the exact same bio, and it goes somewhere along the lines of, Sophie Keatsman is a Berlin-born photographer, studied at such and such university, and does this kind of art. It's always written in a third person, which I know for a long time was a trend because it sounds like somebody else is writing about you. Honestly, guys, we're not fooling anybody. We're all writing our own bios. So, and also, like, nobody cares where you went to university. Like, I know a lot of us, like, we're freshly out of college. I mean, I'm not freshly out of college anymore, but I feel like I am. Maybe you're fresh out of college, you paid good money for that degree, you worked hard for it, so you want to have, like, you want to show it, like, you want to tell people that you have a bachelor's degree in photography. Honestly, guys, nobody cares. That's the sad part about it. Like, I have a degree in photography too, and nobody ever wanted to see it. So that doesn't mean that, you know, the stuff that I learned in college isn't absolutely super valuable to me, and that it has made me a good conceptualized artist. But when it comes to the bio and clients reading up about you, like, they don't really care that you have a degree in photography. They take one look at your photos and they either like them or it's not what they're looking for. So get a little creative, like, you know, write something that is very much you, that sounds like you, like, say the things that you actually genuinely want to say to people out there and to clients, and just be genuine. It doesn't need to be like super crazy wording and like super well formulated, or like elevated language that doesn't even sound like you. Like, I find it so much more refreshing when I go on a website and I'm actually, oh, wait, this isn't what I was expecting to read in this bio. And keep it brief. Like, I've seen bios that are like 2 pages long and nobody's going to read that. If they're that curious about you, they'll go out there and start looking for interviews that you did once, or like, you know, like podcasts or whatever. The website, like I said, people, they will only give you a very, very short amount of time to make an impression. So make it a good one, make it a powerful one. Another huge don't, please don't put your CV or resume on your website. Same thing as with like mentioning that you have a degree. If people are that interested in you, they will email you and ask for your resume. I personally, and guys, a lot of this is my own opinion, my own impressions. When I see somebody have their CV or their resume on their website, it sort of gives me this idea that like you're just waiting for somebody to come and find you and hire you. Having your CV or your resume on your website says, I need jobs and I need you to hire me. So I already put everything in place that you could possibly need in order to give me a job. And I don't think it works in anybody's favor, honestly. And the last big don't that I wrote down is have too many tabs. Like, I'll go on somebody's website and they'll have every single one of their individual projects as a separate tab. I personally never take the time to go through all of them. So if you want people to see a great range of your work, then condense it down. Now, I understand that some artists are very conceptual and that their projects are like, that's how they want to present their work, is within the context of the project. Then I would say pick your top 2 or 3 projects max and make that the whole thing of your website. Like, pick an approach and be confident in it. You don't need to cater to everybody's preferences of what they want to see on a photographer's website. What is so much more important is that you do it with confidence and you do it with, with precision. That is what makes you look powerful, confident, and professional. And also it raises intrigue because it's like, oh, this is a little different. Like, here's somebody that seems to have a good understanding of what they want, and they just do it without caring about how everybody else is designing their website. Okay, now let's get into some of the do's. Watch images. Watch images. Match images to one another. Have a red thread visually. I do this all the time, and I recently taught this in one of my workshops as well. Is what helps me with my portfolio looking commercially viable is making sure that the aesthetic in my work has a red thread. And the way that I do that is I do put it into a grid layout. Like when I'm retouching my own images and I'm color grading them and I'm adjusting the brightness and the contrast, I put it amongst other images that are in my portfolio and I match it to that. You won't believe how many websites I go on to and I see that like the colors are great, but you're missing the fact that a lot of your images are underlit, and then you have one image that has the proper brightness, and it just like, it makes it look unprofessional. And what especially brands and commercial clients are looking for is consistency in quality. That is the like hugest selling point when it comes to hiring photographers, is knowing that, oh, their work is super precise and super persistent in the aesthetic that it looks like, because that is what clients are buying into. Is they see your images, they say, this is what we want our campaign to look like. So they need to know that when they hire you, that's what they're going to get. And if your website is all over the place, it makes you look like you can't tell that you're being inconsistent there. And that takes a little bit of training and like to train your eye. And I am still always tweaking my images bit by bit, and they get bit by bit better. Is that like tiny 0.1% nuance of consistency that makes your work look like the campaigns that you get paid $100,000 for. So do only show your strongest work. Literally, like I said, I don't care if your website opens and you have one image and it's like, wow, like, what is that? That is so cool. Like there is something to be said about restraint and like not giving people too much of yourself, especially if you're confident in what you do have to show for yourself. Then let that stand on its own and speak for itself. Like, don't overpower it with mingling too many voices that you're throwing at the client that is looking at your website of like, I can do this and I can do this and look at this and look at what I've done here and look at this project. It's too much. And it shows that you're coming from a place of like, the more I can show, the more people will think that I am working a lot. But you're not here to prove to people that you're being hired. You're here to show people that you know what you do is good and worth getting hired for. And you don't need like 100 images to do that. Like if you have 100 images on your website, please stop. And actually, now that I think about it, I need to take some images down from my own website too. We're here to call ourselves out. Like, guys, like I am by no means like the absolute model example of this. And do be creative and think outside the box. This is your website. You are a creative. So make it whatever you want it to be. Like, think outside the box and come up with something creative that makes you stand out amongst so many photography websites that are all the same, okay? And another thing that might be worth thinking about or considering doing is having 2 tabs of personal and commercial. An agent said this to me a while ago. They were like, if you have a commercial tab, it shows clients that you have been hired for commercial campaigns before, so it puts trust in you that you've done actual commercial productions before as well, that you know how that process works. However, with this, I'd say it's a take it or leave it kind of advice. So that's all I have time for today. I hope that this gave you a little bit of inspiration. Start tweaking on your website, and also like, don't feel like your website ever needs to be like the final product before you can show it to the world. Like I said, I tweak my website all the freaking time. I'm constantly working on it. And if somebody were to consistently go into my website every week, they would see that it, like, I am never 100% satisfied with it and always wanting to change things. But people don't. Like, people take one look at your website. Like, ask some of your closest friends the last time they looked at your website, they'll probably tell you it was forever ago. So nobody's watching that closely. So give yourself the freedom to have it be an ever evolving process. And yeah, I hope this helped you guys. Like I said, sign up for the Money Master Workshop October 7th and October 8th, and come back next Friday for the next topic. Check out my Instagram or my Eventbrite for what topics are coming up next. And I love you guys so much. Go out there, get it, show your websites to the world because they deserve to be seen. I love you guys so much. Bye-bye.